What is your American dream?
My American dream is for everyone to walk around freely and comfortable and not being afraid to show who they are.
My American dream is to help my people from my community.
My American dream is for people to be aware of different cultures and traditions and to be respectful of each other about those differences, because America is actually built by immigrants. We are all immigrants in this country.
My American dream is to continue doing what I'm doing and educating people about who we are as Mexicans, what we have to contribute to this country, and we are part of this country. Let's not forget that.
My American dream is for everybody to know that I'm not a bad man, that I'm really capable to do a lot of stuff in the best way possible, always with love, with respect, and with that passion that is a characteristic of us Mexicans.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. All right, welcome everybody. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. And there's the end of the music. And where is the beginning of Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias and Vanessa Contreras? How are you, Ness-quick? How are you, Yo-Yo? What's going on?
I'm good.
Yeah.
It was my first time going to the gym today.
Really? How was it?
Did you wear a mask?
Did you wear a mask?
Yeah, we all have to wear masks, but it was cool. They only let a certain amount of people in. If there's too many people in there, then there's a little line outside. But everybody had their mask on. They actually have sanitizer now on top of sprays. It was cool.
Were people keeping their social distance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And were people wiping down equipment after?
Here and there, but
I mean, they didn't do that before Corona.
That's what I'm about to say. They didn't do it before. So if you really want that, then you could just wipe it down yourself. I mean, it doesn't really matter if somebody else wipes it. I would still wipe it down myself.
You know, I don't need a lot of excuses not to go to a gym. I have in my lifetime made up a million excuses not to go to a gym. So this is a perfect excuse not to go to the gym. I don't want to get coronavirus. That's my excuse for the year.
Don't you have a gym in your own apartment?
I do not have a gym in my own apartment. You think I'm fancy, but I'm not. There is no gym in my apartment.
Didn't you have one before?
In the old apartment, yes. I was much fancier when I had less gray hair.
Okay.
But now, as I get grayer, I get more down to earth.
Oh, that was Come to Harlem, man. Come to Harlem.
And Vanessa, how are you keeping in shape? I saw your pictures in Tulum, and you are in some good shape. So, you know, what are you doing?
Well, you know what's funny? I was not necessarily in my favorite shape before Tulum, but we decided to ride bikes from where we stayed in Tulum to the beach every day. We were like in the town of Tulum, which was like in a car, it's like 20 minutes, but on a bike, it's like 35, 40 minutes. So, yeah, that's how I kept in shape in Mexico. Bike ride. Bike rides.
What would have been very funny is if you said, we decided to ride bikes from Tulum all the way back to Newark, New Jersey. Now, then I would have said you were keeping in good shape.
You would have been impressed?
Yes, I would have been much more impressed.
You saw that? You saw that? That's all iPhone.
Do you have a personal photographer? Do you have a personal photographer who travels with you, boss lady?
I have girlfriends that know my exact angles.
I see, because it seems like you have a personal photographer. But I could be wrong.
Really nice.
I have great friends.
Let's say hello to the squad, guys. You want to say hello to the squad?
Let's do it.
All right, Sissy Bone saying hello. Dip Fab, Cake Affairs. Ready to get that bakery going. Dion Watson, how are you? Jessica Leamy, Joel Reed saying it's Hump Day, baby. The Tina Boy, I can't read these days. Tina Nadirge Frank saying hello. And Stargirl Mika, I see you watching. I also see Arlene Dixon and Kurt Duddy watching. Don't think I don't see. Let's see who else we got here. Lena Brown also watching. Myrtle Ray, Ma Dukes, how are you? William Hall. Dan Roy Cuffey, how are you? Nicole Hernandez. And Kimmy De Silva, how are you? Cher Strahan and Precious Amrita, how are you doing? La Jody, what's going on? Clifford Gordon saying hello. Elizabeth Francis saying squad up to Clifford Gordon. Kareen McCarthy, how are you? And Andrea Bram, squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Ja Love, hello everybody. Also saying hello to Brad, Ness-quick, and Yo-Yo. I don't know, by the way, Ness-quick. Is Ness-quick one word or two words? Have we decided that? Ja Love believes it's two words, Ness and quick. I always thought of it as one word. But maybe...
Like the chocolate milk,
like
right?
the chocolate milk. But maybe Ja Love has you as Ness and quick is your last name.
I'll take it.
Now, Jilly says... Jilly says it should be Ness hyphen.
We hyphenate it.
Quick.
Hyphen, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Jilly hyphenates it.
maybe we should just start calling you Ness.
Yeah.
Ness.
I mean, all my friends call me Ness, but I love being Ness-quick on Brad's show live.
Or what about just Miss Quick? We are with Yo-Yo and Miss Quick.
Yeah.
How are you, Miss Quick, today?
That works. I like that one,
That
too.
works, too. Felix Blues, how are... Oh, by the way, it's not Yo-Yo today. My mistake.
Right, sir.
You know who it
Wednesday.
is. You know who it is.
Dr. Love.
Dr. Love. Elizabeth Jusso saying squad up. Andreas Reynoso, what up? And Goddess Warrior, I like that. And K God Bless all saying squad up. Cordella Douglas, squad up family to y'all. Love Uncle Brad, Yo-Yo, and Ness-quick. Cordella has it as one word. All right.
Yeah, one word.
All right, Miss Quick and Dr. Love. Miss Quick and Dr. Love sounds like a good TV show, like
Right.
you're
Wednesday,
like you're like two mismatched cops, on like some dumb TV show, Dr. Love and Miss Quick, you solve the crime or
pitch
something.
it.
Let's pitch it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell everybody what they need to do? And also, if anybody is watching who is a producer at NBC, Netflix, or anything else, why don't you pitch your show that I just came up with too?
Yeah. All right. Brad is a producer now. Not only a host, also a producer, a pitching producer. That's what I'm talking about. So now, everybody, you already know sharing is caring. We have to share this to everybody. It is Hump Day, so you already know we're going to have some fun stories that we're going to talk about. We're going to host chat, but most importantly, we're going to be answering questions. Anybody and everybody that has an immigration question or knows somebody that has an immigration question, I need you guys to make sure they get this. Copy the link and send it to a text message blast. You could send it individually if you want to. If you know that this one person might need it, I need you guys to do that. All right, now for everybody on all social media platforms, I need you to join the Brad Squad on Facebook. You see that right there. Just put Brad Squad, Brad Show Live, Brad Squad on Facebook in the search button, and we will accept your request. It's an amazing VIP page that you guys can become members of. One thing is that you will get that everybody else won't get is you will be able to put your questions in anytime throughout the day. So make sure you guys do that, because I know a lot of people can't get to us right when we start. And if you don't get to us right when we start, that means everybody else that are putting their questions in the comment section are they're gonna get their questions answered right before you. And we don't get to every single one of them. So if you guys join this Brad Squad, the first 5 questions that we get, we will ask that before any of the social media questions. Now make sure you guys interact. Make sure you like, love, smiley face, wild face, throw out any emoji that you guys are feeling. Also talk to us, talk to each other. Tell us what you're thinking about the stories, about the calls, about any of the immigration stories. We love the interaction, okay? Now, Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
On YouTube Squad, if you haven't already, you should already be subscribed to our channel and make sure that you turn on the notification bell so you know when Brad's show is live Monday through Friday. And you'll also find right below there is an arrow that says share. You can copy the link, share it in a text message, share it on WhatsApp, on Twitter, Facebook, so many different ways to take this video that you're watching right on YouTube and send it over to so many of your family and friends, you guys. That's what we need for you guys, is just to share, share, share. Just how you bumped into this show and you get all this great knowledge and value, let's continue to share that information and build this community. We also want to see you guys interacting in the comments. So throw your questions in there because we'll be checking them out later on for social media check-ins. I also need from you guys, very, very important. I'm taking a look right now. I feel like we could do a lot better with those thumbs up. The minute that you give us a thumbs up, YouTube knows that something interesting is happening here. And that's how they'll navigate all of their new viewers this way. So let's keep building the squad. And all we need from you guys is to share and give us those thumbs up. You can also catch us on Instagram at Brad Show Live, where you'll find the best snippets of our show. Every now and again, we host a contest there. And you can also ask your immigration questions in the DM there, direct message us there. And any way that we can get you guys to share this show, friends, that's all that we ask of you so that this community continues to grow. You never know when a question on today's episode could be a question that someone's had for days and they haven't been able to get the answer. But luckily, we have Brad here to take care of that. So let's make sure we get all those interaction going. I see those thumbs up going up slowly, but we won't be answering immigration questions until we get so many more thumbs up. So I'm waiting on that. But I'll give you guys some time to give us that thumbs up. Until then, let's get to schmoozing with Brad.
All right, it is Hump Day, but before we get to Hump Day, guys, we gotta do all the news that's fit to print or talk about on Brad Show Live. Bob Woodward came out with a book. Now, do you know, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, who Bob Woodward is? Did you ever see the movie All the President's Men?
No.
You know what the movie All the President's Men is about?
No.
Do you know who Bob Woodward is?
No.
No. Did you ever hear of something called Watergate?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Definitely know that.
All right. Did you ever hear of Woodward and Bernstein? It's not a law firm. It's not Spar and Bernstein before it became Woodward and Bernstein. It's not a law firm.
Okay.
Woodward and Bernstein were two reporters for the Washington Post that broke the Watergate scandal and caused Richard Nixon to resign from office.
Oh, yes.
They were the ones. They were the ones who were the news reporters. They worked for the Washington Post, and as a result of their reporting and Deep Throat, remember Deep Throat? Not the porn movie. This is not Hump Day. That's what they actually called the guy who was Yo-Yo thinks I'm talking already about Hump Day stuff. Dr. Love thinks it's already Hump Day. No, Deep Throat was a character, was somebody who worked for the Nixon White House, and he was the one who was spilling all the beans on Richard Nixon.
I remember that from history class.
Yes.
I remember laughing like that in history.
It was Deep Throat. No, you will not find that movie on Pornhub tonight, Yo-Yo. I'm sorry. So nevertheless, Bob Woodward and Bernstein, by the way, Woodward and Bernstein, no relation to this Bernstein. I wish, but no, we know just like two different Smiths, like two different Eliases, like two different Contrerases. Maybe 100th cousin back in the 1500s we share somewhere. No relation to me, but they were the ones, and they won Pulitzer Prizes, and they changed history. They caused Richard Nixon, a free press in the United States, caused Richard Nixon to resign because they exposed his crooked deeds of breaking into the Watergate facility and stealing the Democratic secrets for the election that Nixon ultimately won. Sound familiar? So anyway, Bob Woodward now has become this great presidential historian, living historian. Every president wants to be interviewed by Bob Woodward because, they believe that he would give a stamp of approval you know, every president has an ego and wants, you know, Trump wants to be on Mount Rushmore. Okay? Trump has said that he's the best president since Abraham Lincoln. You know,
I'm about to say, did he really say that?
Yes, he did. So Bob Woodward has interviewed every president since Bush on. Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama. He is the living presidential historian that every president wants to be interviewed. So Trump gave Woodward right after the impeachment, but before coronavirus became public, gave Woodward 18 interviews over about a 5 or 6 week period in February and March. He is the foremost reporter. Him and Bernstein are probably the two most famous, foremost reporters in politics that cover politics that are alive right now in the United States of America. So he came out with a book that, you know, because people say, well, why would Trump talk to this guy for 18 interviews? Because Woodward is the man to talk to if you want to solidify your history, you know, your ego. You want to go down in history as a great president. He's the guy who's going to document it or not document it. So according to a new book now by Bob Woodward titled Rage, Trump says back in February that he knew the coronavirus was more deadly than your strenuous flu while he was intentionally misleading Americans. On January 28th, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, who later tested positive for the virus, told Trump, according to Woodward in this book, this will be the biggest national security threat you face in your presidency. This is going to be the roughest thing you face. Matthew Pottinger, the Deputy National Secretary Advisor, agreed. He told Trump it was evident that the world faced a health emergency on par with the flu pandemic of 1918, which killed 50 million people. This is all happening while Woodward is interviewing Trump in February before anybody knew that coronavirus left. Remember, we were talking about coronavirus in China, and Trump said it's a China thing. It's not coming here to the United States. We're all safe. You don't have to worry. There's nothing to worry about. We have it under control. Coronavirus isn't coming here. We've shut down China. The China virus isn't coming here. When he knew in February, because Woodward was interviewing him,
that's stressful.
That wasn't true. He knew this was going to be a world pandemic. He knew that the coronavirus travels airborne. It doesn't travel by touch or by HIV virus because you have sex with somebody. So he knew that this was extraordinarily contagious, yet he was telling people, don't worry, go on your cruise ships, go travel. You go to the Super Bowl, go to different parties and events. You don't need to wear a mask. And he knew that was not the case. He had the opportunity in February to do something about it, and he chose not to. In a February 7th call, Donald Trump said, you just breathe, I'm quoting, you just breathe the air and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than ever your strenuous flu. You know, people don't realize we lose 25,000 to 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right? Talking about the flu. He added, but this is more deadly. This is 5% virus versus 1%. And less than 1%. You know, this is deadly stuff. He knew that 5% of the people who get coronavirus die. At that time, Trump was telling the United States of America the virus was no worse than the flu. Remember? He said, oh, it's like a flu. And it would soon disappear like magic. And he knew that wasn't the case. It would be several weeks before he would publicly acknowledge the virus was no ordinary flu. And that was after he banned Europeans from coming at the end of March. Now think about, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, think about what somebody would think. And by the way, let me say this. Trump said, because he was at a press conference today, they asked him, did you really say this stuff? And he said yes.
Here it goes.
He said yes.
Wow.
He did say it. And he said, and I'm quoting, he to be honest with you, I wanted to always play it down. I wanted to reduce panic among Americans.
Wow.
So he admitted it now. He admitted he has lied to Americans for 6 weeks and said you have nothing to worry about. What do you say to the people whose family died, whose family went on a cruise ship and got stuck on a cruise, got deadly ill, died from the coronavirus? All of the people who got sick and died. We had Kristen Urquizas on. Her father listened to Donald Trump in March. Remember, we interviewed her a week ago. She spoke at the Democratic National Convention. And she said, my father believed Donald Trump. He went on that cruise ship. He got sick and he died, and he was a healthy man. And his only pre-existing condition was believing Donald Trump. What do we say to her? What do we say to the other family members? 180,000 Americans died, and you can't say every death is on Donald Trump, obviously, because that would be unfair. All right. Obviously, the coronavirus was going to make it here to America. But what I can say, also, that is very fair, is that a lot of it could have been prevented. If he was honest with us in the beginning, if he told us to do preventable measures, wear masks, social distance. He stopped Europeans coming from February, but he didn't want to panic anybody. He didn't think we can handle the truth.
How is that legal? Because medical personnel like doctors and nurses, they can't lie to patients and just say, hey, you're going to be all right, when they know that they're dying or that they have a terminal illness. So how is it okay that the President of the United States did that? Because it's illegal for doctors to do that.
Well,
so how is it?
Well, doctors have take I think it's called a Hippocratic oath or a Hippocratic oath or some Hippocratic oath.
It's an oath, yeah.
Right. That they're, but politicians, they just take an oath on the Bible. I guess.
Well, it's on the Bible.
I guess the Bible doesn't mean much.
Doesn't that mean more?
What I would say is, if I'm a voter, how dare Donald Trump say that I'm not strong enough, I'm not mature enough, I'm not intelligent enough to know what the truth is? How dare he think that I can't make my own decisions? How dare he?
That obviously was for his sake. Like that, it definitely wasn't for us. He doesn't even care about us. So, like, why would he say that he was just trying to keep us from panicking? He doesn't care about us. So it has to be something to save face for him or something.
Ness-quick, do you have friends or family who got sick?
Yeah, I actually had my ex-boyfriend's father passed away of COVID.
Oh, it's terrible.
Perfectly healthy.
Perfectly healthy.
Mm-hmm.
His only pre-existing condition was trusting Donald Trump.
And yeah, he was an essential worker, not even 60 yet, that gentleman, I feel.
And
yeah,
and I wonder if you speak to him. And I don't know if you do or not, or maybe you don't want to speak to your ex-boyfriend. That's perfectly okay. But
no, when his dad died, I felt it was relevant.
You felt,
for me
yes,
to
of course,
him,
right. But I wonder how he would feel. I don't have a family member die, thank God. But I wonder how family members who survived, who had a family member die of COVID, especially early in the pandemic. Not so much now because we know a lot more. But early in the pandemic, when Trump was lying to the United States of America and said everything is okay, go about your business. We've got it under control. You don't need to wear a mask. We banned China, so it's perfectly fine. It's not contagious, and if it is, it's nothing worse than a cold or a flu. And he knew all of this wasn't true. He knew it wasn't true. He even admitted it today. He knew it wasn't true.
That's crazy.
I wonder what family members whose family died. He killed people because people didn't have the opportunity to make their own decisions, what they need to do to keep themselves safe. They weren't given true information. And Donald Trump sits here and says fake news. What's more fake news than what he just told the American public for 6 weeks?
Yep.
Nobody can sue him for that?
No.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, I'll tell you another crazy story that came out about coronavirus that blows my mind. Did you ever hear of the Sturgis motorcycle rally?
No.
Okay, there it is. Okay, it is the largest motorcycle rally in the United States. You know how Americans love their motorcycles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Freedom Road, American flag, you know, nothing like freedom on the road, right? So we get all the motorcycle people all together once a year in Sturgis, South Dakota, for a huge motorcycle rally. And by the way, that motorcycle rally was held in South Dakota over the summer. The event took place between August 7th and August 16th. Roughly 7,000 people attended.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 466,000 people attended. My apologies. In a town of 7,000. So 500,000 people attended this motorcycle rally. Most of these people did not wear masks. Most of these people rode motorcycles. Most of these people believe Donald Trump. There's nothing to fear about coronavirus. They are part of a cult that believes that the media is telling these untruths. The media is not telling the truth. The doctors aren't telling the truth. The nurses aren't telling the truth. There is nobody in a hospital getting sick and dying. This is all fake news. We don't need to wear masks. We don't need to social distance, because obviously 460,000 people felt the need to ride their motorcycles into South Dakota in August to attend this rally without masks. Probably most of them Republicans. I don't know for a fact, but probably most of them Republicans. Now, what happened after this rally, according to the San Diego State University, more than approximately 20% of every coronavirus case that was contracted by a human being in the United States between August 2nd and September 2nd goes back to this motorcycle rally. 20% of the Americans who got coronavirus got it as a result of somebody who attended this rally and brought it home. 1.4 million new coronavirus cases because people decided to go to a motorcycle rally in South Dakota. It should have been called off.
That's wild.
This is wild.
266,000 out of 1.4 million cases. Let me get the numbers correct. Now, these coronavirus cases generated health costs in excess of $12.2 billion. $12.2 billion in health costs, 266,000 coronavirus cases, all that trace back to a motorcycle rally in South Dakota.
Of Trump supporters.
Wow. The same Trump that lied to us for six weeks. Got it. Same Trump that lied to us for 6 weeks.
Now, while we're on the subject of books, Michael Cohen came out with a book. He published his memoir, Disloyal. A lot of books coming out right now, you know. By the way, Dr. Love's book is coming out next Wednesday on Hump Day. What will it be, Doctor, right? Well, Michael Cohen came out with a book called Disloyal. And he's now been on the circuit now talking about his book. And now, for those who don't remember, Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's convicted lawyer. He was convicted of lying to Congress in order to protect Donald Trump over his links to Russia and payments to women, which may have violated campaign finance laws. He's still serving a 3-year sentence, but Cohen's book reveals Trump's racism and hatred of Barack Obama and his admiration for Vladimir Putin and his business interests in Russia. Other revelations include the mutually beneficial relationship with the National Enquirer tabloid and his brutal treatment of women, including a vulgar sexual remark about a 15-year-old he did not know was Cohen's daughter. Cohen also gave an interview to NBC in which he called the president a cult leader who should resign to receive a pardon from Mike Pence and thereby avoid criminal charges. I mean, his lawyer's calling him a cult leader. People just, it's like when he says.
His lawyer.
One
of his lawyers.
One of his lawyers. When Donald Trump says I can go down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I can get away with it, he means it. He means it.
Absolutely.
Disgusting.
And he believes it.
Yeah. Yo-Yo.
Is it?
Your thoughts on the vaccine virus? AstraZeneca. They are one of the leading companies trying to put out a COVID vaccine. They put a hold on their vaccine research, and the reason is because somebody who was a test patient got very, very ill, and as a result, it triggered a pause to the vaccination process to allow a review of safety data. The nature of the adverse reaction and when it happened were not immediately known, though the participant is expected to recover. The spokesperson described the pause as a routine action, but they are not pausing. They are not pausing coronavirus research. They need to get it out. That's not routine. Something happened. Yo-Yo. Mm-hmm. Something happened. Something happened.
Ain't taking it. Ain't taking it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else is happening here quickly before we get to Hump Day news? U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement announced on September 1st that it made more than 2,000 arrests in the largest sweep of the pandemic. In New York City, 83 undocumented immigrants were arrested in the sweep. ICE agents made at-large arrests at residences, work sites, traffic stops across the country, including in large metropolitan areas like Los Angeles, where ICE apprehended the most immigrants. I don't know if that. I think ICE just gets people anyway. Catching 83 undocumented people, in the last 2 or 3 weeks in New York, I think that's kind of what they do every week or two. I think they put these news, publications out just to scare the hell out of everybody, or perhaps also to boost, Donald Trump's standing amongst people who don't like immigrants, to get them to vote. But I don't see, catching 83 undocumented immigrants in New York City in the last couple of weeks as, some like amazing, sweep that ICE did. They catch people every week. I want to know why I know that? Because people call me every week to represent them in deportation. So if they only caught 83 people in New York, that means I must be representing half of them. Half of the people. That's impossible. All right? So, because we represent a lot of people in removal. All right. I think we got to get to Hump Day news. What do you think, guys? Let's have some fun.
Do it.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. I have in my hand here Dr. Love and Miss Quick. All of the Hump Day news that's fit to print. In my hand.
Can't wait for
Right
this.
in my hand. So, an Ohio woman became concerned. She was making a stew. And she became concerned about the meat she purchased at the supermarket while making dinner. Lamia Sinkfield of Akron recorded herself on Facebook Live. There she is, showing off her stew and beans. She's famous in Ohio for this. However, as she stirred her food, she discovered a phallic-looking cut of meat that didn't quite match the smoked turkey tails that she thought she was going to get. And this is on Facebook Live.
Oh, no,
she said, is this what I think it is? There's a hole at the tip. And shared she was soon planning to call the grocery store, save a lot. I am sure she saved a lot if she got this as part of her stew.
Gross.
She also checked her store receipt to ensure she purchased smoked turkey tails and not something else. She captioned her Facebook Live with, "I'm so confused," saying she was unsure whether the food was pork or turkey tail or perhaps male genitalia. She said the police came and they examined it, and it is, in fact, a stewed penis. They're calling yes, it is. They are calling the medical examiner out here right now and the coroner because somebody is missing their stuff. The woman
Wait,
said
a human?
that is disgusting. Can you can you shut that off, Julian, please? I can't look at it anymore.
Wait, that's a human?
That was, I don't know if it, wait, one second. Okay, no, it's definitely, not mine. Yo-Yo, you all okay?
You good there?
You good?
We're fine down-
You're
we're
fine?
fine down
Okay,
here.
yes. All
Dr.
right,
Love
it's not
is fine.
Dr. Love. I know it's not Uncle Brad's. It's not Dr. Love's. But it is a human, yes. The woman said 10 officers came. That was disgusting.
Wow.
Do not show that picture again. But apparently, here's a fun fact. Did you know this, Ness-quick? I'm sure you did. I'm sure most men know this. Okay, okay. There are no bones. There are no bones in the human penis. Did you know that?
Yeah, that I knew.
Yes. All right. Meanwhile, it was not. Yes, it was, Jill. It was a penis.
It
Jill
could
said
not
it
have
is not a
been.
penis.
That no, they look like it had bones in that.
I gotta remember what they taught me in law school. I gotta
Read.
remember what they taught me in law school. If you don't know the answer, keep reading. Jilly's right. How after an investigation by the Summit County Medical Examiner's Office, they did a thorough investigation. They looked at the meat. They did a DNA. They concluded, in fact, it was pork and likely a pigtail because it contained a bone.
Bones. Okay.
So that is how they determined it was not a male
At the top, there's a
genitalia.
bone there.
There was a bone at the top. There it is.
That don't look like no pigtail.
But I'm going to tell you something. Who is this woman who's making these tails? What's her name? I don't know if I want to go to her home.
Look
for
how
dinner.
she looked.
I don't
She
know.
looked
I don't know.
over it.
I don't know if I want to go to her home for dinner. And I don't. Lamia Singfield of Akron, Ohio. I'm gonna skip her stew, and I certainly am not gonna go to Save-A-Lot to buy any pork. That's what I've learned from this story.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Meanwhile, an artist in Cleveland has made a portrait of Trump's face using more than 2,000 dildos. It has been about 3 years since Cleveland artist Stephen Manka came up with this great idea to use 2,000 metal dildos. He hadn't quite hit on the right idea to how to use them. So he bought these 2,000 metal dildos. He didn't know what to do with them. They're made of solid copper. The dongs were decades old, and someone, he won't divulge the source, who prefers to remain separate from their eventual use, had offered them to him. So as the Trump presidency went on, Manka struck up with the idea to create Trump's face out of 2,000 dildos. He bought them from the anonymous source and projected Trump's face down on the ground of his studio and set about, over the course of a week, the process of creating the Trump dildo face. Manka is hoping to take the temporary horizontal installation on the road.
Epic.
Is that something, Yo-Yo, you would like to hang up in your home?
Yeah, no.
A 2,000 dildo Trump face.
You don't want to take a bunch of dildos to make a giant one? No?
No. I'll leave it for you, Miss Quick.
Now,
I'm good.
Now the artist says, I don't know if Trump supporters will like it or whether it would change anyone's mind. Maybe someone would look at it and think, yeah, this guy's a dick and I'm a dick for helping him win. Ha ha! There you go. Meanwhile,
right.
Angela, this is the Hump Day News. What can I tell you?
Right.
Meanwhile, Angela Bomeo once again found himself in the hot seat Monday, 4 years after he went viral for sauntering down Route 9 in New Jersey wearing a pink Speedo. The chef and restaurant owner's skin-bearing walk of shame was an agreed-upon punishment for finishing dead last in his fantasy football league. As part of the agreement, the last-place finisher each year has to walk for 10 minutes holding I Suck at Fantasy Football down the popular Toms River thoroughfare. This year, Bormio sucked once again, but he found himself much more prepared for the consequences. He told the New York Post, I had a drink to loosen up, and I just said, it's showtime. In 2016, the video of Bormio in his banana hammock was picked up by the news outlets from as far away as New Zealand. It also made him a local celebrity in Lakehurst, New Jersey. He said months later, people were coming in and asking if I was the pink Speedo guy. We have a lot of elderly customers, and ladies in different clubs would come in and be giggling. But this year, he lost again. And yeah, he also tossed his famous pick number in, and after scouring he threw it away. After scouring a few stores, he found an extra large bikini bottom in the women's clearance section at Walmart. He said it held everything where it was supposed to be. It was the best $3 he ever spent. And there he is, running down I suck at family football.
He needs to stop betting.
Yeah. And finally, police in central China. Police in central China's Hunan province detained 5 men for streaking at a shopping plaza on Monday after the men lost a bet at work. The men were punished with administrative detentions for 5 or 7 days for intentionally exposing their bodies in a public place. According to police, at noon on Monday, some citizens called the police reporting they witnessed 5 naked men in their city center. Hump Day, guys. Sometimes it's good.
You lose a tail.
Sometimes you lose a tail, right? We knew it was going to be all downhill with the pig's feet Peter story, right? Let's see if we can make it up with this last one. I got the last Hump Day card in my hand.
All right.
An international battle of the bums is taking place on Twitter, with museums around the world claiming to have the art with the best bottoms. The challenge was laid down by the Yorkshire Museum in late June, who tweeted, "It's time for curator battle. Today's theme is Best Museum Bum. This cracking Roman marble statuette depicts an athlete at the peak of fitness. It may have decorated the townhouse at one wealthy resident. Has someone taken a bite out of this? Beat that." I don't know if we have the pictures, but I guess they're all tweeting statues of bums. Is that what they're doing, Jill? I guess. We don't have pictures of it, so it's not that fun to see. Yeah, it's a problem. All right, guys. Yo, Vanessa. Sometimes, this would have been a good day to call in sick for Hump Day.
Yeah, that Hump Day. I'm still on board with that Trump dildo artwork.
Yeah.
I thought it was a masterpiece.
Well, we can get you in touch. We can get you in touch with that artist. I can make it happen for you. Ness-quick.
This is true. Brad can make that happen.
Now you guys know what I want for Christmas.
All right.
Now you guys know what I want for Christmas.
Why don't you tell everybody why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I stretch and get ready for answering your immigration questions?
Absolutely. All right, guys, you already know what time it is. Everybody on Facebook, it is time to start your watch parties. It is very simple. All you have to do is click share, that little arrow, more options, and then it should say start the watch party or host a watch party. Just click start. It's very simple, but it goes a long way. This helps us get the show out to everybody on your friends list. So it's not only sharing, because we obviously want you guys to share as well, but this is a very easy way for you to share it to all your friends, because it'll send them a notification saying you have started a watch party. So now if you have friends and family that support what you support, then this is the best way to get your sharing on, all right? Another way to share, of course, is click that little share button and share it to anybody's page, share it to groups, any immigration groups, any cultural groups, any groups, traveling groups. Please share it in those groups, all right? And you could also copy the link and send it in a text message blast. This is one of your last moments for you to put in your questions in the comment section, because remember, we have so many every day, and we can't get to every single one of them, all right? The only one way you can, like I said, you can join the Facebook VIP page, and then you can put your question in whatever time of the day, and the first 5 we will ask them before social media check-in. All right, Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
Okay, squad, it's very simple. One thing I need you guys to do is go ahead. Well, I need you to do a few things, actually. Just kidding. But I need you guys to make sure that you're subscribed to our channel and that you turn on the notification bell so that you know when we are on live every day. But now that we're getting the answers to immigration questions going, we need to share, you guys. So right below, you'll find an arrow that says share. It'll allow you to either share it on Twitter, Facebook. I even see LinkedIn listed here. Spread the word. Go ahead and copy paste the link into a WhatsApp group. Let people know that you're about to hand them so much value and so much knowledge. Let them know that Brad is going to answer immigration questions and that we do this absolutely for free. So make sure that you get as many people to take a look at what's going on right here, right now. Start your own watch party on YouTube by sharing this link. Okay, guys? So right below, we're going to share, make sure that we get that out to everybody, and we continue to build the squad and this community. Okay. We're also on Instagram at Brad Show Live, where you'll always catch the best snippets of our show. Even every now and again, we do include some of the questions that Brad does answer. But let's get people on here live right now. Let's get those phones ringing. You never know when a question that you have is the same question that someone you know that really needs the help needs that as well. So let's keep building the squad and let's share, share, share. So without further ado, let's get to the bread and butter of the show, getting answers to your immigration questions.
All right, let's go to Chris in Denver. Chris, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. What's going on?
Good. So I had a question. So I was put in deportation removal in 2013.
Uh-huh.
And in 2018, my case was granted by the judge.
Great. What was the case that was granted?
It was a cancellation and removal.
Wonderful. Okay. And you were a lawful resident, or you were out of status when you got put in removal?
Out of status.
Okay.
Out of status.
So you had cancellation for non-LPR. So you were here in the United States for more than 10 years. You showed good moral character and extreme hardship to your family. And you were able to adjust your status in 2018. And your question is what?
Okay, so from there, my case was kind of just put on hold. And then I guess I had 2 DUIs, and now I guess since there was the Castillo-Perez case, since I had 2 DUIs, they want to reopen my case.
Okay. So you got a problem. All right, yeah. Because you're not granted your green card until you're granted your green card. They only give 10,000 green cards a year to non-LPR cancellation cases, which is why there's a waiting list. Which is why there's a waiting list, and sometimes that waiting list is 2-3 years. And you got to be a person of good moral character during this whole process. Okay.
Correct. I haven't had any other experience with the law.
Chris,
yes.
2 DUIs in 2 years is a problem. Okay, and if you're going to go to the judge, and I'm being frank with you, okay, if you're going to go to the judge and you're going to say, Judge, I only had 2, they're going to boot your ass out of here. Okay?
Right.
If you're drinking and driving, okay, you need help. You need to go.
Right, this was back in 2013.
It doesn't matter when it is. Okay? You need help. You need to show that you're rehabilitated, okay? Drinking excessively and getting behind the wheel, it's a disease, alcoholism. If that's what your problem is. I don't know, but if that's what your problem is, it's a disease. And you got to show that you've conquered that disease. Because if you can't show you've conquered that disease, the judge is going to say you're going to do it again. We don't want people drinking and driving in America. So you got a problem.
Right.
All right? Okay. And you got to be able to show that guy who is the DUI guy, that ain't me. That's a different guy. Okay. That was old, Chris.
Yeah,
you got new Chris here. Let me show you why I'm new Chris. That's what you need to show. I don't know anything about you. I'm just giving you a general idea. If you need more help, hold on. All right, let's go to Mohammed in New York. Mohammed.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Mr. Bernstein.
Yes.
Good, thank you, sir. I am 63, retired. I've been here almost 38 years. Back in 2008, somebody told me to apply for citizenship. I didn't know nothing about citizenship, moral character, so I did. And then I was denied because it was inside statutory period and outside. I had one arrest in 1992, drinking with resisting arrest.
Mohammed.
Yeah.
You have a green card right now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, when did you get your green card?
Oh, 93.
1993.
Yeah.
And when was this arrest? When was this arrest?
It was 91.
So this arrest was prior to you getting a green card?
Yes.
All right. And when you got your green card, did immigration know about this arrest in 1991?
No, I applied in 2008. That's when it came out. with
Mohammed,
5 more.
Mohammed, answer my question. I'm not talking about
Okay.
your citizenship.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I am talking about you have a green card, right?
Yes.
Okay. You got your green card in 1993.
Yes.
You had an arrest in 1991. Well, we'll get into that arrest in a second. But you had an arrest in 1991 before you got your green card in 1993. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
It is correct. Okay. When where did you get your green card? Did you adjust your status here, or was it in another country?
No, it was Reagan period. You remember amnesty, Ronald Reagan?
Okay.
86.
So you got it. So you adjusted your status under the amnesty in '89, and then 45 months later, you had to go from a 2-year to a 10-year. And is that when you're saying that in that 45-month period between going from a 2-year to a 10-year to a permanent card, is that when you're saying that you got an arrest?
Yeah, it was five years permanent, temporary. Then I got my.
Mohammed.
Yeah, I had arrest.
Mohammed.
Yeah, I had
how
arrest.
long have you been in America?
38
Okay,
years.
all right. You
Yes.
speak English, right? So answer my question.
Yes,
I'm answering you. I'm asking I'm asking a question,
Okay,
and you're
thank you.
answering a different question.
Thank you.
And I know you're nervous.
Yes.
I want to help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
let's
I am.
start again. Okay.
Okay.
You got a temporary green card through the Ronald Reagan amnesty, because you were here between '82 and 1988. And then when you get that temporary card in the Ronald Reagan amnesty, they give you a temporary lawful residence, and then you got to go for a permanent residence, and they give you 45 months to do it. And in that period, that's when you got arrested, or you got arrested before you got that temporary card? Let's start there.
Oh, no. Temporary, I got it in 1889.
Okay, fine. So you got the
So I got
temporary
arrested.
card, and then you got arrested in '91. What was the arrest for?
Yeah.
What was the arrest
Okay,
for?
drinking.
What
Yeah,
was the
I
arrest
drunk.
for? I don't want to hear. I don't wanna hear-
Resisting
arrest.
Resisting drinking and resisting arrest.
Okay,
Resisting
and what
arrest,
happened with the
drinking.
case? What happened with the case?
Nothing. To 37 days in jail.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, and then you got your permanent green card.
Yes.
Okay, and
And
then
then
you
I got
applied
green
for.
card.
And okay, fine. And then have you been arrested since that time?
No, until 2003.
What happened in
No.
2003?
Okay, 2003, I got 5 misdemeanor, all drinking. That's it. Drinking, I go and die.
5 misdemeanors,
fine,
drinking
and
and
I come
drinking
out
and drinking
next
and drinking. It sounds like you're
Drinking,
drinking right now. Are you still drinking, or are you sober now?
No.
You're
this
sober
is,
now.
2003, I
Okay.
didn't get arrested till now.
Okay, fine.
Until now.
Fine. And when you say drinking, were you drinking and driving? Were you just walking down the street like a drunk?
No.
What were you doing?
Down street, coming out the bar, 7-Eleven. That was in Hilton Head Island. That was out of New York for 3 years. It was tough there because
You were just
tourist
walking.
place, they arrested me.
Was it public intoxication, or were you drinking and driving?
Yeah, no, never drink and drive.
So it was public intoxication. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Disorderly conduct.
all disorderly conducts. That's generally what they turn out to be. And now you've got a clean record.
Clean for 18 years.
Did you go to an alcohol rehabilitation program?
Yes,
You did.
2004.
Good for you. All right. So
Yes.
we were talking with the gentleman who called before, who also had that same alcohol problem. Okay. You need 5 years good moral character. You're going to file for your citizenship. And Mohammed, you're going to say Mohammed from 2003 is not Mohammed from 2021. Mohammed from 2021 is a sober man. Mohammed from 2021 has 18 years good moral character. Mohammed from 2021 went to an alcohol rehabilitation program and has had a spectacular record for 18 straight years. You're going to become a citizen.
Yes. Oh, thank you. So I come see you? Or just,
Yes, you can. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, when you
okay,
come,
I have
and
one
when you,
more question if you don't mind.
Mohammed, when you come see me, I'll
I
answer
have
it.
my green card is
I'm
expired
sweating to
in a
death
couple
from this
months.
first question. What is the second question?
Second question is my green card is expired in a couple months. Should I get my green card first?
No, come see me.
Then I
No,
apply?
come see me.
I can see?
Yes.
Okay, I got the address.
All right, hold on one second.
So
All right, Muhammad has me.
this
in a
is a
deep sweat
winning
here.
case.
All right, let's go to AJ in Chicago. AJ,
Hey, Brad.
how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on?
I got two quick questions. I came here in 2006 on a work visa, and I overstayed up until 2016 when I married a U.S. citizen. And later on March of this year, I got a notice of intent to deny, and I got a deny letter on July of
So
this
you got
year.
married, you got a notice of intent to deny, they didn't believe it was a real marriage. You responded to that?
Yes, sir. We sent affidavit of the support. We sent pretty much a lot of paperwork.
What was in the, okay. I don't know what pretty much a lot of paperwork means. What were they questioning?
Okay.
Were they questioning that you were in a real marriage? Did they question that you had an affidavit of support problem? What was the problem that you got a notice of intent to deny? Let's start there.
Because I had out of status when I got married, and
That doesn't
second,
mean anything.
they found.
Okay.
Yeah, I invited them to my home. After 2 interviews, they came to my home and they found a picture of my ex-wife and a checkbook of my ex-wife at the home. Other than that, my ex-wife
All right,
had
so
company.
AJ, stop there.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want you to say something you'd regret publicly, because we don't have an attorney-client privileged conversation at this moment, because we have thousands of people listening, and that goes for everybody.
Okay.
There's no privilege. What you say can and will be used against you. So they did an investigation into your marriage with your current wife, and they found some stuff from. I don't want you to say anything. Just listen. And they found some, from what I understand, they found some stuff from your ex-wife in your current house. Checkbook, pictures, whatever it may be. And because of that, they said they believe, my guess is, that you are still in a relationship with your ex-wife. And I guess your position would be, I'm not. Now, I could tell you this for a fact. Okay? I'm a born American citizen. I don't need any immigration help whatsoever. I was married. Somewhere buried in my drawers in my apartment are pictures, don't tell my fiance this, but are pictures of me and my ex-wife. Why I keep them? They're mementos to me in my life. So I know for a fact, the fact that you don't throw out all the pictures from your ex-wife doesn't mean that all of a sudden you should throw away your life. That doesn't make sense. So if that's the only reason that they have that you're not in a real marriage, then I would certainly fight that. But I wouldn't say anything on the air right now, because who knows who's listening. I would just have a consultation with me. Hold on one second. All right?
Thanks, sir.
All right, let's put him on hold. Let's go to Florence in New York. Florence.
Yes, hi. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Florence. How are you?
I'm okay. I just have a question. If I got married, right, and I have a son in Jamaica, do I need consent from his father to add him to the file?
You got, not to add him to the file, but if he goes for an immigrant visa and he's a minor, and the child
He's a minor.
And the child is living with the father, yeah, they may ask for consent. It's very possible. Most likely.
Most likely?
Yes, when he goes to the interview, not to put him on a piece of paper. No, you don't need consent to write a name on a piece of paper. But if you're married to a U.S. citizen, then your step husband has to file for him separately. But you don't need permission to write a name on a piece of paper and submit it to immigration. What you may need permission, because the husband is the custodial parent at this point and could even be the legal guardian. So if the child is in the legal guardianship of another parent, they will ask for permission, a letter saying it's okay to immigrate. That happens a lot.
Yeah, because the child is still in his father.
Yeah.
His father still in the
ask.
child life.
They may. Well, it's two different things. One thing, if the father is in the life, it's who's the custodial parent right now? Who has legal guardianship of this child? Who has? Okay, so if you both do, then you have to prepare that they may ask. Can I guarantee you they'll ask? No, but they generally do.
Oh, okay.
All right, so prepare for the yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Stacy in, where is this? Corapolis. Is that such a place? Corapolis, Pennsylvania?
Yes.
It does exist. Okay. So where is Corapolis? Is that's not by Philly, that's by Pittsburgh probably.
Right, like half hour.
Yeah, because I don't know the Pittsburgh area. I know the Philly area. I never heard of that town. All right, Stacy, what's going on?
I want to know, I have my daughter in Jamaica, and her file is at the consulate, the NVC for processing, and I'm having trouble with someone to care for her. Is it possible I can get like a humanitarian parole for her to come while her paperwork is processing?
Where are we at with the process? Is the I-130 approved?
Right now, yes, and NVC has the document.
What I would suggest we do is show that this child is going to be homeless and living on the street, which is basically what you sounds like you're telling me, and try to expedite a visa appointment for her green card. That's what I would do. And if you need help, hold on one second. Let's go to Jonathan in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Jonathan.
Hello?
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi. I've got a question. I've got my son, right? I would like to put him for his citizenship, all right? But he has some open cases. Do you think it's wise for me to go ahead and put in for that citizenship now?
No. I think if you have open cases, you're never going to become a citizen. Not do I think, I know that. Number two, if you have any criminal record, you should not be filing any citizenship until you know the consequences of those criminal convictions, because those consequences may make you ineligible to become a citizen. Those consequences may make you deportable, may make immigration come to your door and arrest you. So I wouldn't do anything of that nature. What I would do, however, is if he is a derivative citizen, meaning that he had a green card under the age of 18 and one of his parents was a citizen and he derives his citizenship as a result of a parent becoming a citizen, I would do that case and get him his certificate of citizenship, because his criminal record has nothing to do with whether he's a derivative citizen or not. But if you're asking about filing naturalization, absolutely not. The only thing he should be doing is watching right into a very good immigration lawyer.
I don't think I quite understood the part that you were saying before about if his parents is a citizen.
So let me make it. I'll ask a question. Were one of his parents a citizen before he was 18?
No.
So then we don't have to worry about it. You would be filing a naturalization. You do not file a naturalization when you have open cases.
All right.
So
okay,
come see me. Hold on.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to, I hope I can pronounce this name right, Ola Bacola. Bacola. Did I get it right? In Orange County, California.
Yes, you did.
All right. What's going on?
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank you for all your good work.
My pleasure.
And yes, you really helped thousands of people, in fact, millions of people, and I'm one of them.
Great.
Yes. I have a question. My husband is a U.S. citizen, and I'm a green card holder. And my husband petitioned for my two children. They are back home in Nigeria. They are currently with my mom, but my mom is quite elderly and she's feeling poorly. They had their interview and both of them were placed on administrative processing, and then it later changed to refuse.
Correct.
Like
because of the Trump proclamation for Nigerians.
Okay.
So at this point, and I hear your pain. At this point, someone's going to either sue Trump, or at this point, I would wait to see who wins the election. Right now, God willing, and I pray to God every day for this, God willing, Biden wins, because we need him.
Amen.
Okay?
Yes.
If he wins, he has promised to end all these proclamations by January or February and unwind all this craziness that Trump did. So to me, that would be the easiest thing, is just wait for Biden to win. If hopefully that happens. If Trump wins, Biden loses, then it's litigation. You got to go into federal court and litigate this and get a federal judge to overturn whatever the issues may be and say what Trump is doing is illegal.
Wow. Okay.
So let's hope for Biden, and then we'll take it from there. Let's speak after.
Thank you.
When's the election? November 8th, right, Jill?
Okay.
What day is the election, Jilly? November 3rd. November 3rd. Wait till November 3rd. Let's see what happens.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Gustavo in Los Angeles. Gustavo.
How are you, Brad?
How are you?
Good, good. It's the second time, actually, that I participate in your show.
Okay.
Last time I called you 10 months ago about and I told you about a home visit that I had. I don't know if you remember or not.
Gustavo,
And,
I have a very good memory, but I do not remember talking to you, so I apologize. But let's figure
no
it out.
worries. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, you told me that time that I should wait 120 days before making any action, doing something.
There was a home visit because they came to determine whether or not you and your wife are living together? Was that it?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. By the way, yeah, I filed filed on May 2018. The interview was April 2019.
And by the way, when they came, you were there, your wife was there, everything was good, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Everything was good. I was actually optimistic.
And you haven't heard anything?
No, it's been 10 months since then.
So you got three choices. You can start writing them and harassing them, and sometimes harassment works, sometimes it doesn't. But we know you're going to get a successful outcome because they came to your home, they saw you and your wife living together based on what you're telling me, and everything was good. So you can harass the crap out of them. That's one way. And sometimes with the theory that the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
I raised the 10 service requests, so it's always automatically responsive.
Okay, fine. Okay, then if harassment doesn't work, then you have two other options. Okay, there's the, excuse my language, sit on your ass and just wait for a decision, which is frustrating option, or you file a mandamus and force a federal judge to have them make a decision. And I wouldn't be filing a mandamus until I at least look over your entire case and make sure that you have a winnable case. The last thing you want to do is file a mandamus because a federal judge doesn't say to immigration, approve this man's green card. What a federal judge in a mandamus says is make a freaking decision. One way or the other, thumbs up or thumbs down. So we want to force a decision when immigration takes a look at this file and says, we just got sued, a judge is forcing us to make a decision, and officers looking through it, I can't find any reason to deny it. All right, I got to approve it. But if, so that's, what you got to think about before you do a mandamus, that's all.
But has it been working, the mandamus, in the middle of the pandemic?
I'll be honest with you. I have been suggesting to people not to do it in the middle of the pandemic, but in a situation like yours, where your case has been pending since 2018, they did an investigation before the pandemic, and it's still pending 10 months later, that perhaps is a reason to do a mandamus.
I see. Yeah, actually, I've talked to lawyers, and you were the only one, the most confident lawyer that about mandamus, and I really like that.
All right.
So,
all right. So hold on one second. Hold on. All right. Let's go to Abdi in Boston. Abdi.
Yes, Brad.
How are you?
Thank you for taking my call. I'm good. I have one question. In August 28th, I have an interview for N400. When I got there and I'm waiting for 2 hours, officers, they call me and they tell me my background check's not done, and they send me home without interview.
What was not done? What was not done?
Background check.
Your background
That's all
check.
what they told me. I don't know. Yeah.
How long has it been?
I filed in February 20, and I took my background check in March.
When
and now
when
it's
was your
like
interview that they sent you home?
Because they told me
Abdi, you got
August 28.
August, which year?
28. I have that interview already scheduled my interview.
August 28th, 2020, so a month ago, 2 weeks ago.
That's what the day I have interview.
Okay, so on August 28th, they sent you home and they said no background check done, go home.
Yeah, but I asked them why they sent me a letter interview.
Because Abdi, I could already tell what country you're from. You have a
From
Muslim
Somalia.
sound of name from Somalia, exactly. All right, you're from a country that Trump says is a shithole, which is exactly why they sent you home. Now, this is what the law says. Okay, this is how you punch back at them. All right. What the law says is you had an interview August 28th. You showed up. They chose not to ask you any questions. That's their problem. All right, but you had an interview on August 28th. The law says they got 120 days from that interview on August 28th to make a decision on your citizenship. My guess is 120 days is going to come and go, and you're not going to get any decision. And what the law says, this is for naturalization, by the way. This doesn't go for adjustment of status. Because the Gustavo was talking about adjustment of status. It's a different situation. That's a mandamus. But for naturalization, 120 days from an interview, so count 120 days from August 28th, which will be September, October, sometime December, early January, whatever 120 days is, you can file something called a de novo review in federal court. It's different than a mandamus. A de novo review says that after 120 days of immigration making a decision, if they have not made a decision, you could bring the case into federal court, and a federal judge has the authority to make a decision, which is different than mandamus, which is where a federal judge forces immigration to make a decision. This is, judge, make a decision on my citizenship, immigration sitting on their ass. And that's what I would do if I were you. All right, but you got to wait the 120 days, all right?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, hold on.
Right.
All right. I don't know why I've been using very PG-13 language today. This is a G-rated program, but maybe because it's Hump Day, I don't know. Let's go to Felix in Detroit, Michigan. Felix.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I want to thank you very much for taking our time to talk with me. I've been listening to your show for the past 2 years, and you've been very, very helpful from the time I was filing my I-5751.
Right.
Now my question is straightforward. I filed an N-400 about 5 weeks ago, and I only received a receipt notice. I've not received anything about the biometrics yet. So I want to know if I should be worried about it or
don't worry.
This is normal procedure now.
It's normal procedure now in an abnormal time to have a delay in biometrics. Immigration says if they have your biometrics already collected, they're going to use the old one. They're not even going to call you in for a new one because of coronavirus. So it's very possible you may not even be called in for one if they can use your old biometrics, which they've already collected from a prior case.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. As long as you have the receipt notice, that's all that matters.
Okay. So one last thing. So I can confirm that they've accepted my application since I've not heard back from them.
You can confirm that they accepted your application because you got a receipt notice, right?
Yeah. Yes. I thought it was a generic receipt notice because I got it immediately that I filed on the same day.
Okay. And how did you pay for your filing fee?
I paid for it online.
Okay. So then the answer is yes. They accepted your filing fee. They sent you a generic receipt notice. You're in.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Right.
And keep up the good work.
My pleasure.
You've been
Good luck,
helping
Felix.
so many people.
My
You've
pleasure,
been helping
Felix.
so many people, and I've introduced over 20 people to your show. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Spread the
have a
word. I
lovely
appreciate
evening.
it. Thank
Goodbye.
you. You too. All right. Let's go to Abdul in Brooklyn. Abdul.
Yes.
Hi,
yes.
how are you?
Hi. Good evening. Good.
What's going on?
I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a 10 years green card to my wife, and I have applied for asylum when I came here in 2015.
Right.
My question is, I would like to withdraw my asylum, and I want to know how much it's gonna cost me. There is a withdrawal fee that I have to pay, or what?
There's no withdrawal fee. You just write a letter.
Okay.
All right, so it costs you a piece of paper and a stamp. And an envelope.
Thanks.
All right? And
my
if you
second
need
question
a pen too.
My second question is when I applied for the green card, I have also filed for my daughter back in West Africa, and her case was approved. The I-130 was approved, and I would like to know how long it's gonna take her to get here.
It's being filed for by your wife, I assume, right?
No, not by me. My unfortunately, my wife had passed away.
So how you are a resident now?
Yes, I have a 10-year green card.
Okay, so you filed an I-130 for her.
Okay, yeah, I have already done that, and been approved.
And she's how old?
She's 11.
Well, I mean, the priority dates are current, so as quickly as you get the case through the National Visa Center, she'll get a visa appointment. So I don't know, did you pay the filing fees yet? The fee bills? Did you do the affidavits of support? But figure it's 6-7 months to get through the National Visa Center and get a visa appointment, assuming you do everything very fast.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
All right, very welcome. All right, let's go to Jin in Kansas City, Missouri. Jin.
Yes, hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you. Please, I have a very serious situation. I've been here in the U.S. for 2 years now. I am on H-1B visa. Due to the COVID-19, I lost my job.
Where are you from?
So, I'm from Cameroon.
Okay.
Yes, and my wife, I've decided to, because I have 60 days. Sorry, I'm a French speaker, so I have a grace period of 60 days. So I've decided to return, but my wife doesn't want to return. And I will be going back next week. But I was informed by some friends that my wife is planning to show to the authorities that I'm abusive so that she can not be deported. So my first question is that possible?
No. There's no VAWA case for abuse by a spouse of an H-1B. Now, she could conceivably go to the police. This is what she could do. Let's assume, Jin. Okay, you've never. Okay. I'm gonna make the assumption. I have no idea. Okay, but let's take the assumption of the most positive thing in your favor, which is I've never touched my wife. I've never physically touched her. I never abused her. I am a decent human being and I'm a decent husband. And this woman is going to make up a whole story just so she can stay in America. But I am 100% innocent. Let's assume that. Okay, I don't know you, I'm not there, but let's assume that. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is what she can do. She can't file a VAWA because you're not a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. She can go to the police. She can make up a story that you abused her. The police will come, arrest you, but then they got to prove this case, and she's making up a story that never happened. And I don't know how how a prosecutor would be able to prove this, because she has to be. She would have to be trying to get a U visa to be able to stay here, which is she's the victim of a crime of domestic violence, and she would have to be making that up and prosecute you and contribute to that prosecution. I don't think she's going to be able to do all of that in a week, even if she wants to make it all up. So the answer is she can't do that. That's not going to be an option for her.
Cool. Now, please, I don't want to have any problem with the administration. I don't know how it works here. So can I report her to the police or to
what you do is you pack up. Okay, if you're concerned that she's going to do something, stay away from her. All right, because if you're not near her, she can't report that you did anything to her. Okay? And then you leave in a week and say goodbye to America. And hopefully you come back soon.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly my concern, because I hope by the grace of God, when I go home, I can still apply to have a job position here.
Yes.
So my second question is, when I leave, should I maybe report the case that I've left my wife here? Because if she's deported, maybe I can also be in a problem.
You're not your wife's keeper. So the only thing I would do is leave the country. They have a record you left, end of story. And when it's time for you to apply for a new visa at some point in the future, you can't control what your wife did. You're separated from her.
Okay. Right. So if she's caught after and she's deported, I am not in any difficulty, sir?
No. You are not her keeper.
Please, okay, one last question, please. When I go home, if I now file for a divorce, will that, if she's not in Cameroon to sign for the divorce, will that divorce be accepted here in America in the near future?
If it is a legal divorce in Cameroon, it will be accepted. So if you follow the legal procedures to get a divorce against a woman who is not in Cameroon, and you follow the legal procedures, and it is a legal divorce following all of the right laws and procedures of Cameroon, yes, it will be accepted in America.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much,
welcome.
sir.
All right, good luck, Jin.
Bye.
And by the way, you can watch YouTube, and Facebook works in Cameroon, too. You can watch us from there, too. Be well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go to Matthew in Hackensack. Matthew.
Hi,
how are you?
Good day, sir. How are you? Fine, thank you. I have a quick question for you. I met my wife in Canada, and she is Iranian. I sponsor her to come here. She had a temporary green card, and we did the I-751, and they approved her. She filed for naturalization in November, and she did the biometrics. We are still waiting after close to a year will be in November, that we're still waiting for an interview. And I've spoken to friends that this doesn't take that long for the interview.
Well, partly it's due to coronavirus, and partly it's due to her being Iranian. So partly her being Iranian, partly because depending on what country you're from, they do more thorough background checks than others. It's just the way it is.
Okay.
So it's partly coronavirus, partly Iranian, and as a result, it's delayed. If it's more than a year and a few months, the only thing you can do is, as we've been talking about, mandamus. File a lawsuit against them. But you got to wait at least 12 months before you even think about it. So you're not at the 12-month mark yet.
Yeah, I just find it, the thing about it is that they approve the green card. We have a son together. We have a mortgage together. We have everything together, car. So one of the things that is going on, too, is that when she's an engineer, she's applying for jobs. And the first question they will ask her if she's a citizen. That's the first thing they will ask. And she got in, they tell her, well, my wife tells them she's a 10-year green card, and they say we'll get back to her, and they never do.
Well, they can't deny her a job because she has only a green card and is not a citizen, unless she's doing something very sensitive with the American government. That would be illegal. They also can't deny her a job because of her national origin, because she's from Iranian. So I would suggest you talk to an employment lawyer about that issue.
So just wait another year.
No, I said wait at least 12 months from the time that you filed before, or 14 months, and then give me a call back. You're not even at a year yet. I think you told me you filed in November. So wait.
November, yes. So just
wait until 2000 January 2021 comes around, and you still don't have an interview. Give me a call.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay.
Have a great day. Good job, man. Good job.
Thank you. All right, let's go to Rayson in Fargo, North Dakota. Rayson.
Yes, Brock. How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, okay. I got a few questions, and I want you to clarify them for me, please.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I went for interview for I-485, August 26th.
Right.
And then right after the interview, I was given a paper that said my case is being withheld. So right after the interview, like 4 or 5 hours.
What do you
when
mean?
I checked
What do
my-
you mean the case is being withheld? I don't know what that means.
They gave me a piece of paper saying that the case is being withheld for further investigation. You know.
All right.
Yeah. So like 4 hours after that, I checked my case status online, and then I saw that the case was approved.
But this is for an adjustment for your green card?
Yes, adjustment status. Yeah, I-485.
Okay.
So I saw that the case was approved in the immigration status case online. So then August 31st, I received an interview notice telling me that I should go for another interview. Then September 8th, I checked the case status, and then I saw that a card is being mailed to me. So I'm not understanding what's really going on.
Sounds like the computer system's all screwed up. But if your case is, I would go with what the local office is saying, which is your case is under investigation and you need another interview, and they probably don't believe it's a real marriage. And,
yeah, because
and if so, you're going to get a Stokes interview. And if you show up to the Stokes interview and by some luck, the officer says, "What the hell are you doing here? Your case is approved." You say, "Great, thank you very much," and you walk out. But you got to be on the assumption that the computer system's wrong and the local office is correct. That's what I would assume.
Yeah, because another time I received that it's approved, and then they send me interview notice. Then they,
As I said, computer system wrong, local immigration office follow what they're saying. And if you and you show up to the interview and they say you're approved, great. But I don't think that's going to happen. All right, hold on if you need help. All right. Let's see. There we go. Let's see what I got here. Yes. In today's Braducation, I answer the question, why should I file for citizenship 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days after I get my green card? What the law says is that you can apply for your citizenship 90 days before the 5-year anniversary. 90 days is different than 3 months. Most people say apply 3 months before your 5-year anniversary. But since there's 31 days in many of the months, and we don't know which days are 31 and which days are 30, the safe bet is file 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days after you got your green card, and for sure, the math will make sure that you're filing within 90 days of your 5-year anniversary. And by the way, if you didn't get an opportunity to answer or to get your question answered by calling us, you always have social media check-in, which is coming right around the corner. You also can follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram, you can drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. If you follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live, you get the best 1.5 minutes of our show. If you can't handle 2 hours of Uncle Brad, but you can handle 90 seconds of Uncle Brad and 15 seconds of Ness-quick and another 15 seconds of Dr. Love, then follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. And Dr. Love, you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms.
And Ness-quick.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
All right, so let's do something we like to call social media check-in. All right, what do we got, guys?
All right, so guys, remember, like I said, the first questions that we are going to ask are from the VIP page, Brad Squad page. So Nicole H. asked from the Brad Squad page, if I filed the I-751 in November 2018 and the N-400 in November 2019 and I have yet to hear anything from USCIS beyond a confirmation number, what does this mean and what should I be expecting?
Expecting eventually a citizenship interview and be told to you'll get a decision after the I-751 is approved. What I have discovered dealing with immigration when you file the I-751, and then concurrently 1 year later file the N-400, is it slows both cases down. So my opinion would be, generally, although I tend to sometimes disagree sometimes with my own opinion and tell people to file their citizenship, but generally I tell people wait for the I-751 to get approved and then do the citizenship.
Okay, the next one comes from Carmen C, which also came from our VIP Brad Squad page. If I have an approved petition for my stepson in the Dominican Republic and I am a U.S. citizen, how long will it take until we get an interview date?
I don't know the answer to that, but hopefully about 6 to 8 months, assuming your priority date is correct.
Okay, Build on the Rock, another VIP Brad Squatter, asked, if I filed an I-485 and forgot to fill out one of the questions, will USCIS automatically deny my application?
They shouldn't. They probably just either give you an RFE, or alternatively, they just may ask that question at the interview.
Okay, so the next one comes from Walajev Diva Brown on Facebook. If I'm married to a green card holder, can he file for me now, or should he wait until he becomes a U.S. citizen next year?
Always file now, even though you may not be eligible to adjust until he becomes a citizen.
Oh, it's Bowleg Diva.
Bowleg.
What?
It's Bowleg Diva.
Bowleg Diva.
I read it like it was super exotic.
Yeah, it's not. But it could be. Okay, Mary Donker on Facebook asked, it's been 7 months since my Stokes interview and I still have yet to hear back from USCIS. What should I do?
Well, after it's 7 months, the longer it takes, the more likely it is that they're going to deny you, unfortunately. I don't know how you did on the interview, but maybe you need to start speaking to an attorney.
Joan Grant on Facebook, what forms do I need to submit with my N-400 application?
Copy of your green card.
Naked Wire on Facebook asked, how do I change my address with immigration? If I filed for my wife and child who are in Ohio, but I'm currently in New York, is that a problem?
It is a problem because you and your wife are not living together, and the whole purpose of a filing for your spouse is family reunification. But you can't be unified if you're in different states. So you guys got to figure it out.
Purpose Driven Arundela on Facebook. My mom came to the U.S. on vacation in December of 2019, and due to COVID, she has been unable to leave. If I filed for her last October, would her overstay due to the pandemic affect the petition?
Yes, and you should file the adjustment here now.
Okay, Ibere Usuji on YouTube asks, what happens to a green card petition if the petitioner dies?
That's the end of the case. Sometimes you can have a close family member take it over. There's two different laws depending on whether the person is outside of the United States or is in the United States when the petitioner dies. If the person is in the United States when the petitioner dies, it becomes easier. You do something under Section 204L, and you can have a family member automatically substitute in based on humanitarian reasons, and those humanitarian reasons are presumed. If, on the other hand, you are outside of the United States, you have to ask USCIS to reinstate the I-130 and have a close family member substitute in. So it depends on where you are. It's a completely different process.
Candy Bennett on Facebook, if I am married, how difficult is it to get a B1, B2 visa for my spouse so he can come visit me here in the U.S.?
Very hard because they're going to think that he's coming to live here. So it's going to be very, very hard. You may want to instead do a K1 visa.
Munir Guy on YouTube asks, if I want to file for VAWA.
K3 visa. You got to file. It's already the spouse. So you got to file the I-130 and then do a K3. My apologies. Go ahead, Yo-Yo.
Okay, Munir Gui on YouTube asked, if I want to file for VAWA, can I also file for travel documents?
If you file an adjustment application with the VAWA case, you can file for an advanced parole travel document, yes.
Rawell Williams on Facebook, if a person has an open case in court, will that affect the possibility of getting citizenship?
Absolutely. You'll be denied if you have an open case in court, so don't even bother filing until the case is resolved.
Okay, Okay, Goddess Warrior on YouTube asks, why would USCIS request a second biometric appointment of me?
Because your fingerprints were not collected properly on the first time.
Lorraine Grill Christ on Facebook. If my grandson is on holiday here with me in the U.S., how can I file for him without him going back to his homeland?
Well, you can't file as a grandma, but he can file a SIJ if you can show it's not in his best interest to go back to his homeland and he's been abandoned, neglected, or abused by one of his biological parents, and you do a SIJ, become his legal guardian, and then adjust his status here.
Chrissy Brown on Facebook asks, if I'm submitting a letter to prove my good moral character along with my 601 waiver and I'm in Jamaica with no access to a notary public, can I instead get the letter stamped by the Justice of the Peace?
Yes, you can.
Marco Mercado, if on YouTube, if I got deported but came back 2 weeks later legally with an ID card in 2001 and have been here in the U.S. ever since, without a green card, is it possible for me to ever get my green card back?
He got deported and then came back 2 weeks later?
Legally.
Legally came back?
That's what this says.
You did not come back legally 2 weeks later if you got deported. There's more to the story. Do not admit to crimes on Facebook. Come call me.
Patricia Bird on YouTube asks, how long does an I-485 approval take with a pending DAWA case?
Over 2 years, unfortunately.
Miranda Simpson on Facebook, if I've ever been in the U.S. for 8 years, if I've been in the U.S. for 8 years, is there any way I can get a worker's permit, New Jersey state ID, or driver's license?
No, only in New York they're giving driver's licenses to people who are undocumented. You have to be living in New York.
Okay, Ayo Biola on Facebook asks, if I'm a Nigerian citizen and I want to relocate to Canada and I'm a professional electrical engineer, is this possible for me to do?
I don't have the slightest idea about Canada.
DC on YouTube, when you say to prove your marriage is bona fide, we must show we live together and have a financial relationship. How is the financial relationship possible if she can't work until after adjustment of status?
Well, the fact that, I'm going to do two things, and it's a good segue right now, Vanessa. Number one, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, the fact that you work out of status is not a bar to getting a green card, so that's not a good excuse. And number two, I want to introduce Shannon to everybody. People may know her here. She is a partner here at the firm, and we always talk about the importance of a couple being prepared for their USCIS marriage interview all the time. It's why we play this bratified marriage game, to impress upon everyone how tough the interview process can be. Well, in this edition of Attorney Spotlight, Vanessa, Ness-quick, boss lady, we put her in the interviewing seat to interview Shannon. She spoke with Spar Bernstein partner and immigration attorney Shannon LaGuerre. And Shannon is going to break down exactly how you prove you're in a bona fide marriage. Let's watch.
Met the yin to your yang, your soulmate. You get married, life is great. There's only one issue. You or your spouse is a non-US citizen. And in order for them to obtain a path to a green card or even citizenship, you must apply and go through a marriage interview with USCIS to ensure that the marriage is genuine. With me today to help people prepare for their marriage interviews, Spar Bernstein Immigration Attorney and partner, Shannon LaGuerre-Maingrette. Shannon, how are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you, Vanessa?
Awesome. Let's jump right into it because I know the squad needs all the info on this one. When should a couple start preparing for their marriage interview?
I believe that they should start interviewing as soon as possible. So I tell a lot of the clients, they come in even before they get married, which is is great, they should really start looking to prepare even before marriage. So I give them tips such as make sure that you have pictures together, like while you were dating, make sure that you have pictures at the wedding, that you have family and friends. Not a necessity to have a big wedding, because some people are like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, no, you don't have to have a big wedding, but you need to show that you celebrate it and that you show some level of respect and decorum. It's a huge moment in your life. I've had cases where they have looked at what the people were wearing to the marriage ceremony. So somebody had worn short and they commented on that in the decision. So it's really, really important to really respect the whole moment of getting married. So before marriage, during the marriage ceremony, and also marriage, that you want to make sure that you have documents to show that you were together.
Now, what should people have or not have posted on social?
Social media is a new concept that's going on with immigration. Really, really interesting. I tell people, be careful about social media for so many different reasons. The officers do go on. They'll go on to your social media page and look to see. I've had clients, they have each other on each other's pages, which is wonderful. Also, that basically shows to the officer, like, okay, I see family. I see that they're posting to one another. They're basically tagging one another. And these are things that the officers look at. I also tell people to be careful too because of the phone. So I've had experience where I was in Boston last year and it was a marriage interview. The officer was wonderful. The officer's just talking, vibing with the clients. And then it seems like they went to a vacation spot in the US that also the officer had gone to. So the officer's like, oh, asking questions about that particular vacation spot. And then he's like, do you have pictures? And he was like, let me see your phone. And then she takes out her phone and I was like, I hope she has pictures. And she did. But imagine if they were conversing and they really, this was like a lie. And then he's asking for pictures and they didn't have the pictures on either phone. That would have been problematic because everyone's taking pictures on their phone. So I tell people social media and also pictures on your phone are very, very important because the officers will ask for it. And at that point, basically, you don't want to be placed in a situation where you don't have it. I had a situation where it was imperative to show that there was not a relationship with someone else because my client kept on admitting, like, I don't know who that person is. I never met that person. And they had already gone on social media and saw that when she had gone out of the country, you know, that they were friends on social media. It was Facebook actually. Oh, wow. And that she had commented and they had corresponded back and forth. And at that point, you know, obviously my client was in a situation.
How else can people prove to immigration that they are in a real bona fide marriage?
So I'm just going to give you like a list of things people should probably have. A joint bank accounts together, bills in both their names. Of course, pictures are what people usually come in with. If either spouse have children, those stepchildren or whatever the case may be, you should have basically to show that in case of emergency that each person can go and pick up that child. So for example, if the US citizen is the step parent, have that step parent be on in case of emergency notification. Also, if you're working, in case of emergency, contact my spouse because in case of emergency, God forbid something happens to us at work, you want your job to contact someone that's real, someone that's going to be there for you and going to make really good decisions on your behalf. You're not going to put someone that's you're in a fraudulent relationship with. So they do look at that. So I tell people bills such as cable bills, you can also have telephone bills. Those are really important documents to show. But again, every marriage is different, right? Not everybody's going to have all these documents and you have to be very creative at that particular time. There are times that people don't have good credit and so they can't get a lot of bills in their names or even both names at that point. Anything coming to the address. So basically if you have magazines or even junk mail coming into the address, you can certainly use that to show, yes, I may not have good credit and that's why I may not be able to have these bills in my name, but here's documentation to show that basically I live at this address with my spouse.
And what if a couple doesn't have a joint account?
If they don't have a joint account, I tell people you have to be able to explain. So there's so many different reasons why people don't have a joint account. Basically, it could be credit situations, and then you could just show the bank stating that you made the request for your partner to be placed on a joint account and they refused. Immigration will accept that, right? Because they see that you were making the effort to do that. There are other reasons. Sometimes basically there's lawsuits out there where they can collect and they don't want their bank account to be garnished. And then at that point, basically you present the information. Like it's all about plausible explanations. Why can't you do this? They just want you to be able to explain it. So if you can't do the joint bank account, you have to demonstrate that you are dividing the financial responsibilities in a way. So everybody's contributing. It's not just the person getting the green card, but everybody everybody's contributing, and that is very important.
Now let's discuss the marriage interview itself.
Mhm.
Where are they usually held?
It depends on what process. So, for example, if you are in your home country and you're getting the green card, that is called consular processing. That will be done at a U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy. The interview will be conducted there. And if you are in the United States and you are requesting to, be granted a green card, then at that point, basically, that is called an adjustment of status, and that will be conducted at United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, usually a field office. The interview will be conducted there.
And what should people expect at their interview?
So expect to wait a while. Usually you're going to wait, depending on where you are, but like someplace like New York, Florida, Boston, you'll be waiting a little bit of time. So you're looking at probably, if it's like an hour, don't be astonished by that. Once you get into the interview, the officer will question you pertaining to background information. Where were you born? Your background, family information, parents information. Do you have children? When did you get married? Are there any previous marriages that they need to be aware of? At that point, they're also asking for documentation. So proof of identity, any divorce decrees, annulment certificates that they need to be aware of. And then you're providing the original documents at that particular time. Then they'll proceed. Again, it depends on where you are. They'll question you about the marriage, and depends on where you are because there may be a next step. And at that point, the officer will tell you that they will issue a decision and you're waiting.
Now, we play Bradified Marriage on our show, which is like the Newlywed Game, but using Stoke interview questions. Can you explain to those who may not know what a Stokes interview is?
A Stokes interview basically is a marriage interview where the officer separates you. In New York, they are kind enough to actually give you a heads up. So you'll go into an initial marriage interview. They'll question the both of you, just like we just talked about. And at that point, if the officer is uncomfortable and doesn't feel like they can grant it, they will then send you another interview notice for a Stokes interview where they will separate you. In other jurisdictions, you should go in there prepared for them to separate you. So many times, like in Alabama, Florida, Jersey, as soon as you walk in, they're separating you. So you should be prepared for that. They ask you a series of questions. It can be anywhere from 30 minutes all the way up to 2 hours. I think the longest Stoke interview I had was 3.5 hours, over literally 320 questions. So normally what I'm doing when I'm sitting in the interview is I'm writing down all the questions and responses, because the way it works is that they'll ask one spouse a series of questions, and then that person will step out. The second spouse will come in and they'll ask the same questions again. Then both will come in front of the officer and they'll basically look at the answers. And if there were any discrepancies, then at that point they need to address it.
You mentioned that sometimes in the Stoke interview, there's hundreds and hundreds of questions. But what are some questions that interviewers should expect?
I mean, it's so many different questions. Those that are really simple, like a married couple should know. For example, where did you first meet? When did you meet? Where was your first date? If either one has children, when did you introduce, the other to your child or to your children? Meeting of parents are questions that are also asked. I think the questions that can be, much more detailed. And I tell people, hey, the reality is that you're married and you're going through everyday life. People who are really married understand it's like the hustle and bustle of marriage. And there are things that you may not look at. They'll ask you, what color is your husband's toothbrush? I understand that my husband brushed his teeth this morning, but I don't remember the color of his toothbrush. But these are things that I don't have to pay attention to, but someone who's actually requesting a green card do need to pay attention to those. So it's really important, like some of these questions, the color of toothbrushes, how many pillows are on the bed, how many pillows do you sleep on, how many pillows does your husband or your wife sleep on, what are the color of the sheet, when was the last time the sheets were changed, where is the hamper, which is, I think, a great question. Some people get caught that way. Some people will be like, oh, it's in the bathroom, and other people will be like, no, it's in the closet. If you're living together, then you should know the answer to these questions. But a lot of times you need to be reminded and prepared for it. Sometimes the questions can be somewhat, I would say, a little invasive. So they may ask you what type of birth control you're using, if any, right? Other times they'll ask, hey, what did your spouse wear to bed last night? And I've had, people be like, well, they went to bed naked. I mean, they ask the question because they want to be able to see whether or not it's the same answer.
And are U.S. citizen spouses expected to attend the marriage interview?
It depends on the type of interview. So if you're getting your green card abroad, which is the consular processing that we talked about, that particular visa, the U.S. citizen is not expected to be at the interview. Only a few instances have I had it where the officer would request after the interview that the U.S. citizen appear. Only a few. Here in the United States, the answer is yes, they are expected to appear at the adjustment of status interview.
And now, when do people usually hear the result of their interview?
So usually the officers will tell you as soon as the interview's all over, please give us 120 days for this to be completed. There's a lot of work that goes into this. I mean, they need to basically do background checks, security clearances. The officers are getting up to 10 cases a day, and some of them can be very, very complicated. Therefore, they need the time to be able to assess all of this information before giving an answer. If 120 days does pass by, then at that point, you should really reach out to your attorney.
And what happens if a couple is denied after their marriage interview?
A lot of times if they are denied after a marriage interview, you can do a motion to reopen or reconsider. I usually more than likely tell people to refile because I feel it's easier. And also work permit is a huge issue for a lot of clients. The beneficiaries, they need their work permit to work. And if you do a motion to reopen or reconsider, you're not eligible for a work permit. So a lot of times I'll tell them to refile, and then you have an opportunity to be able to present the case all over again to an officer.
Now, Shannon, you've handled hundreds of marriage cases. Can you tell me about a tricky case you've handled where the interview went badly, but you were able to prove the couple was in a bona fide marriage?
Many times couples will go to an interview and you can totally tell that the officer is like, I'm not going to grant this, or I need some time, or you'll get a decision from us, but you could tell that the officer is not comfortable. And so in this particular circumstance, the couple first initial interview, it was in New York. There were some discrepancies. It wasn't a Stokes interview. It was actually a marriage interview. At that point, basically, fraud detection unit for USCIS went to the marital home to investigate. They showed their badges, and the couple was living with the U.S. citizen wife aunt. Basically, they showed pictures because you take pictures, passport size photos, and you submit it with the applications. And they showed these pictures, and they were like, do you know this person? So the aunt was like, oh yeah, I know my niece. That's my niece, right? And then they showed her husband, and the aunt was like scared and said, I've never seen him before. At that point, the officers are like, okay, so have you ever seen him around? I mean, and she's like, no. They asked about the U.S. citizen wife, the niece, basically, is she married? And she's like, I'm not sure. And later on, I was like, why did the aunt say that? People are very afraid to speak to police officers. And she felt that maybe he got in trouble, and here are the police who are basically trying to get information in order to arrest him. And she wanted no part of this. That's why she said she didn't know him. I basically argued that this was the situation. There were tons of newspaper articles that talked about this particular urban area and what was going on with the community and the police and the fear that exists and with gangs, etc. They went back again for another interview, and they actually did very well. And there was so many other evidence that I was able to get from them. And it's crazy. The beneficiary, which was the person getting the green card, had been robbed 2 blocks away from where he lives with his wife. So that was evidence that I showed that there was a police report, and he was like, I was walking home and I was robbed. And at that point, again, it shows like, why would he be in the neighborhood? He actually used that address as his home address. And so we went back in again, they did the interview, and they were granted. Now he's actually a US citizen. It's all about being able to get the full story and being able to explain a plausible explanation that it's credible and consistent when you provide this explanation.
Yes, Shannon, digging, love it. Squad C, thank you so much for the information, Shannon. Our attorneys here at Spar Bernstein are always open to work for you. So they will get the case answered. To get in touch with Shannon or any of our other talented attorneys here at Spar Bernstein, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465.
So Ness-quick, that was your first interview with an attorney, right?
Well, I had done the fellows before. That was my first time.
With Shannon, right?
With Shannon, yeah, she was great.
Yeah, she's great. Right. You did do it with the guys. I do remember now. Yo-Yo? Ness-quick, I'm told we have very long questions. I don't know what they are, but I'm told we have very long questions for speed round.
Yeah, we're going to need you to answer fast as well.
I may need a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we might be okay.
You think we're going to be okay?
For the third. I believe.
If we all read fast and answer fast.
Got it.
All right.
Let me hold on. We're going for a 50-second ride. Go.
How long does an approved I-130 last?
Forever.
At what age can I apply for my green card myself?
Whenever you want. There's no age limit.
What is the difference between a co-sponsor and a joint sponsor?
The co-sponsor is the second person to give the affidavit of support. The actual sponsor, or difference between co-sponsor and joint sponsor is the same thing.
What is a U visa?
Somebody who was a victim of a crime.
What is a non-immigrant visa?
Anything that is not a green card.
What does USCIS stand for?
United States Citizenship Immigration Services.
Can I get a green card if undocumented?
Yes.
What is the I-130 application?
For sponsor a family member.
Is there a difference between naturalization and citizenship?
Yes, there is. Oh, yes, there is. It's my fault because I screwed up the co-sponsor, joint sponsor. Had I answered that properly, I did answer it properly. Had I answered it cleanly, I would be safe.
And then the USCIS tongue twister.
Yes, I was like, oh, you're like the United States Citizenship Immigration Services.
We tried.
Right, you're like, Brad, say seashells by the seashore. I'm like, oh, I can't.
That's what I
thought. Not when I'm trying to do it fast. Come on. All right, comments of the day. Good job, guys. Though. Comments of the day.
See, I knew those were going to be okay.
All right, what do we got?
All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day comes from Jewel, MCAA. So, Jewel McCaw, bless up yourself, Brad. Love your show. As always, your friends from Jamaica.
Aw, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, our next comment of the day comes from T Gift, and they say, Uncle Brad, you one in a trillion lawyer, the authentic lawyer, most grease to your elbow. Like that.
Thank you.
All right. Our third comment of the day comes from Don Harriet saying, Brad, the teacher, the preacher, the counselor, and the lawyer under one umbrella.
There you got it. Thank you. Thank you.
You're a preacher too now.
I guess. You hear the word of the Lord, right? Can you imagine me as a preacher? I'd be a terrible preacher.
No.
All right.
You're out here preaching this immigration.
Yeah, that's right.
Our last comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis, one of our squads, always so loyal. Uncle Brad is the only immigration lawyer who gives free advice. This makes him the #1 immigration lawyer of all time. There's none like him. Go, Uncle Brad. You're leading by far.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And that's everything, right? Not only did you grease my elbow, but you greased my ego too. Thank you very much, squad. Thank you very much, Dr. Love, Miss Quick, the entire crew behind me. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800 Lawlink. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.